What is the pettiest reason you can't date someone?
Wasn't my pettiness, but a girl I went on a few dates with wouldn't date me because she wanted to be the artistic one in the relationship and she was worried that me being a musician would spoil that for her. Edit. Wasn't real deep into it, it was just a couple of dates. I don't feel negatively toward her. She was a nice enough person lol. Also, music isn't my career, more of a passionate hobby. I work in IT by day.
This made me laugh really hard. Sorry that happened.
LMAO, I laughed too. The funny thing is, she had no artistic talent whatsoever, she just wanted to live an artsy, whimsical life.
Ended things with a guy over various other reasons, but the most annoying was how many times he told me that he'd leave me for Miranda Lambert in a heartbeat. Which okay, I get it, some people have a list of celebrities they'd leave their S.O. over, mostly as a joke. But this was like every day, just randomly said, not related to the conversations we were having at the time, and he meant it. He made sure I understood that if for some god-forsaken reason Miranda Lambert walked in through the front door, I was gone.
Funny because this actually happened. The guy that's married to Miranda Lambert now left his fiancée a while back to date ML.
She talks to people like they're 100 meters away from her.
Only went on one date, but he named his cat Creamy, and the way he said it grossed me out.
This is my favorite comment on the whole thread. LMAO. She insisted on hanging out at home. She lived with like 6 people, and they always had friends over. I felt like a BF extra on Friends or Seinfeld.
Yeah, this is legit. I would have bounced too.
My grandparents were very southern. When I was a kid, I spent the night at their house and heard them wrestling. I heard my grandpa say my grandma's name, Sarah, but with his accent he said, "Ooh, say R-U-H." I met a girl named Sarah who was also southern. When she introduced herself as "say R-U-H," I had to nope out. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Rewind to college. Me and my friends are out at a bar. My buddy Dave and I are seniors and his sister is a sophomore, and just turned 21, so she's out with us. We are having a good time and look over and his sister is chatting with this guy at the bar. Fast forward an hour or two and they are still talking, except she's basically on his lap and they're making eyes at each other. 1:30, last call, we are getting ready to go and checking to see if she is going home with this guy or coming with us. She's not there. We look around and she's sitting with her girlfriends at a table. We collect her and as we're walking out I ask what happened to the dude. Turned out his name was Dave. I can't go home with a guy with the same name as my brother. Bro got turned down because of his first name. Savage.
She had the same first name and last name as my grandpa.
Pop pop.
Cuz she texted like this. Smiley face. Smiley face. Smiley face. Smiley face. P, 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 P smiley face.
I did internet dating for a while before I met my husband, and I have to say, the fact that he wrote incomplete sentences with near-perfect spelling and grammar was a real turn-on.
Inability to form a coherent sentence in text.
Such a for the.
She didn't like museums.
This thread is basically plot summaries from Seinfeld.
This was my first thought too. Lol. She smelled like soup. He wore fake glasses and didn't like vegetables.
Fake glasses.
She had the feminine version of my name and that's just too cutesy.
Pierre woman slappy or Pierre man slappy?
She did that thing with her voice where every sentence she said ended with a question mark.
I almost broke up with a girl when she was trying to be seductive and yanked my book out of my hand and closed it, losing my spot.
WHN thy text, WTH no vowels. YHY though?
She had the same name as my mom.
Haha. Had a BF once who had a sister with my same name. He called me by my middle name instead.
Live, laugh, love style home decor.
Shopping for a house RN and this irritates the F out of me. Those single word signs in the dumb loopy font. Like, gather, in the kitchen and, eat, in the dining room. What, does someone with dementia live there and doesn't remember what the rooms are for?
I had a guy break up with me in high school because God told him to. I was like, oh okay, guess I can't argue with that one.
I had the opposite, a guy told me God said I'm his wife. I was like cool cool cool, but he didn't tell me so.
His last name was Fister.
Mr. Fister rolling on the floor laughing, I can't.
I can't date anyone with lip injections. It felt super unnatural kissing her. Like kissing a baboon with rigor mortis.
So you won't date someone with lip injections but you'll kiss a baboon?
My wife once told me she couldn't be with someone who wasn't around the same level of intelligence as she. I have no idea how I'm going to keep it a secret that I'm a effing idiot the rest of our lives.
But here's the thing. If she's a effing idiot and lacks the self-awareness that would lead her to consider she might be a effing idiot, then she'd find someone of similar intelligence and be content with a effing idiot such as yourself. So I'd say it worked out.
Years ago I stopped dating someone once I realized he had weird nails.
She ate pizza with her hands, no, not like you think. She would scoop up the toppings in a messy pile and like an animal, claw them up and eat them, then rip the bread and eat it. We were at a fancy Italian place and I got horrified.
Did she walk round in a little circle before sitting down?
If they have the same name as either of my brothers or my dad, lol, no.
Or my best friend's ex's name. We have had our fill of Chris. Edit to add. I said it below but it's getting lost. Christopher or Christopher, doesn't matter. We had a few in our lives spelled with a C around the same time, so it's a hard pass on all versions.
I broke up with a pretty hot girl when I was younger because she didn't swing her arms when she walked. It just looked weird and reminded me of a gorilla. Really stupid reason I know, but it just looked so stupid and I couldn't overcome it.
Nah, I get it. My brother doesn't swing his arms at all. Doesn't help that he's also super tall and skinny, and in marching band, so he's trained to walk super smoothly. So he just glides around like a tall Victorian ghost child, but I don't want to make him self-conscious, so I say nothing.
Having dated two, I now have a no nurses rule.
One of my favorite Reddit comments has been, not all nurses are bitches, but all the bitches you went to HS with are now nurses.
Minions. Really hit it off and couldn't look past the love of Minions. Can't stand M.
Was she a 42-year-old office manager? There's something about middle-aged women in office environments that brings out a love for Minions. Printing out the memes and hanging them in their office is the highlight for me, personally.
My boss's daughter's ex-BF broke up with her because they had a Dyson and he said he wouldn't be able to keep up with her extravagant lifestyle.
This is the most George Costanza thing I've ever heard.
He ate with closed fists around his utensils like a toddler and his face right up to his food like someone was going to steal it.
Sounds like an ex-con more than anything else.
She said I drove slow on our date. She likes men that live dangerously. It snowed heavily while we were at a fancy dinner. I was in my father's car because I had just gotten back from Iraq. She called me a week later. I said I need a woman that is more down to earth.
White spittle gathering at the edge of the mouth. I can forgive or overlook a lot of things, but that's an instant turn-off. Edit. Every day is a school day. Apparently this can be a sign of dehydration or linked to another condition I've seen called angular cheilitis.
Bro, you're dating people with rabies.
I dated a guy and he pulled out Sudafed nasal spray. Said he had bad sinuses. I too had Sudafed and bad sinuses. Decided to cut it short so as to not breed the chronic rhinitis.
I didn't like the way she ate a grilled cheese sandwich. There were more reasons, but this was the deal breaker.
How did she eat it?
2 at the time. Like putting them on each other and making a super grilled cheese sandwich and then a lot of mayonnaise and then eating it. And then laughing with a stuffed mouth when I made a funny comment about it, so I could see what a grinded grilled cheese looked like. So also finished it before I ate my one grilled cheese.
Friends with voices that annoy me.
Chews with their mouth open.
Open mouth chewing bothers me so much I have to leave the room. So does chewing ice. But in addition, when people eat with silverware and scrap it against their teeth when they pull it out kills me.
She had a large tattoo of a half-zombie girl on her back. When doing her from behind it'd feel like the tattoo's eyes were on me the whole time and it gave me the creeps. It's one of the very few moments where I felt like I needed to make up an excuse to peace out. It was hard AF actively trying not to lose my erection when that happened, so no regrets about weaseling my way out.
That reminds me of a woman I met at a wedding once. She was a massive fan of Michael Jackson and wanted a full back piece of his face. Her BF dumped her BC. He didn't want to be raw dogging it from behind and making eye contact with the king of pop.
Can't blame him, to be honest. I can absolutely imagine hearing a high-pitched hee-hee asterisk during each thrust, and thus losing my poo every time. Couldn't do it.
If their Instagram is nothing but selfies, especially if they're striking the same pose in every shot. I had a match like that and it honestly creeped me out.
They are deathly allergic to nuts. The idea of never having Nutella or Snickers again or risk killing my partner with a kiss is too much.
I am broke.
Aw, this takes me back. Back in 2016 I had a DM from a girl who got chatting to me. I saw the beautiful profile pics and thought that it may be a scammer or a catfish. Instead of playing the white knight card, I decided to be brutally honest about myself. I could only afford a room in a shared apartment, I was in a job with a poor pay, I didn't have a car and I couldn't afford to meet her until I got paid at the end of the month, which was 2 weeks away. She was fine with this, and we chatted every night until we finally met for the first time at the end of the month. Today we are happily married with children, I have a very highly paid job, and even recently bought my wife a new car straight from the showroom. She stuck with me through the hard times simply because she had faith in me, and I will forever be grateful to her for that. Edit. Thanks for all the positive comments and love. I just thought I would share this with everyone that might be going through the same dark patch that I went through years ago. I want to share the thought that no matter how crappy life can get, things will get better and happiness will find you eventually.
Her favorite song was The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran.
I instantly knocked out of an otherwise fine blind date when she ordered apple juice, off menu, at a fancy restaurant. 19-year-old me only knew apple juice as a toddler's drink, and I just couldn't get past it. I'm no longer that petty. But I did make the mistake of mentioning this to my wife once, many years ago. And she now makes a habit of ordering apple juice whenever we're at a fancy restaurant, just to see if I squirm.
Your wife is great.
Loud person. No. I hate it.
Her sister was jealous of the relationship.
She was too aggressively normal. Edit. I meant she was too sane and well-adjusted. Anyone like that is clearly hiding something.
Everyone in this town is a tad strange. Except for, ironically, tad strange. My favorite food is bread. If they're super into Disney stuff, it creeps me out for some reason.
Taking a long time to reply message but having read the message, and replying with one word.
I don't think that person is dating you.
People that like to debate too much. I'm all for having your own opinion, but when someone thinks they have to be the devil's advocate constantly? No thanks.
They pronounce the word espresso when they mean espresso, or especially instead of especially.
I was raised as a fairly sheltered white kid in a very white American suburb. When I was around 20 I went on an OkCupid date with a guy named Manuel, and although I had several valid reasons for not pursuing a third date, I am ashamed to say that I distinctly recall feeling weird about the prospect of getting into a relationship with a guy named Manuel because it felt weird for me to pronounce his name. Yes, I was that sheltered. Most 15 years later, after having lived the past 8 years of my life in a South Asian country, and 5 years into a committed relationship with a man from this country whose name is as far from white, Western culture as it gets, I cringed so hard at the thought process I had at that time.
Into star signs and the like. To the point of being reminded what sign you are, which somehow has an effect of who you and your personality traits lol.
Classic Leo energy.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.